no quorum at that point, so they had to shut it down.
Okay, wait for him to walk in.
It's going to adjourn at 9 and come back at 12:01.
There's John.
Oh, John's here. Well, you said you weren't going to be here. Shame on you.
I wasn't going to.
We're about to start. And we're going to start with a pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a roll call, please.
Yes, Christie is excused. Deacon?
Here.
Gaba? Here. Gardner?
Here.
Pomelo?
Here.
Thomas? And Watson?
Here.
6 present.
And let's have we have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
So moved. Make a motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes from the last meeting? That's unanimous. Thank you. Any petitions and communications this evening?
There are no petitions and communications.
Okay. A report of the town manager.
So good evening, everyone. Tonight we're a week early, so my director's meeting is not until tomorrow. Some highlights I wanted to touch upon were fire rescue is still hiring. If anyone has an EMS license and looking for a job, we would love to chat with you. Happy to share that Public Works, John and his crew received a FEMA payback grant, sort of, so to say, from the storm, $239,000. Wow. So that will be well used. This planning, Zach applied for a brownfield grant, and happy to report that the town received $500,000. And so we're going to use that for assessing some land. That's the intent of the grant. So he's at an all-day meeting tomorrow to find out more about that. In assessing, Barbara Brewer, our assessor, won an award. And Sherry, I forget the name of the award. It escapes me at this minute. But we're proud of our assessor, assistant Barbara Brewer, for getting that. And tomorrow, Cumberland County and myself and a few other staff are running a road race for Special Olympics. We're starting at 7:30 in the morning at Aroma Joe's and going to the Gorham Fire Station, so that will be interesting. And lastly, I want to thank Sarah. This is Sarah Gava's last meeting, so we have a little something for Sarah. Sarah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate all of you, too. It's been a pleasure to serve Standish, and I hope that you all continue doing good work and support the town staff and all the hard work that they do. And I think one of the things that you just mentioned in your report of just all the new grants and funding that are coming into our town are going to do nothing but benefit them in the future. So I hope to see that work continue for many, many years.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And lastly, this is Miss Mary's last official meeting, so we have a little flower for her, and we just want to thank her for her 37.5 years of service. And we did send out, we have a retirement party for her on the 25th, so please avail yourself to that. It'll be here at Town Hall in the afternoon. I'm correct in the 25th, yes? June 25th?
2 to 5.
Yes.
Do we know what day that is?
It's a Wednesday.
Oh, perfect.
And that is all I got.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have our public hearings. So 13424.
All right, 13424, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 187, licenses and permits. This is the substitute order. And the town of Standish hereby ordains that Chapter 187, licenses and permits, Section 187 of the Standish Town Code, be and hereby is amended as follows. Additions are underlined, deletions are struck out.
Make a motion to waive the reading.
Second?
All in favor of waiving the reading? I think that's unanimous. Thank you. So anybody from the public like to speak on this or have any questions? essentially to take out some things that are no longer needed to be in there, make our codes and more up to date to the current standards for the state of Maine, taking out some coin-operated devices, bowling alleys, things like that, because they're no longer needed to be in our ordinances. So, let's have a roll call then.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
Yes?
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
All right, that's 6 yeses. And moving along, we have 41-25, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 188, massage establishments and therapists. The town of Standish hereby ordains that Chapter 188 massage establishments.
To make a motion to waive the reading?
Second?
All in favor of waiving the reading? That's unanimous. Again, this is more just bringing all our codes up to date, taking things out that no longer need to be in there. So is there any discussion or questions from the public? I don't see any. Let's have a roll call, please.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
Yes?
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas, and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses.
Okay, let's go to committee reports, and we'll start down with Mr. Parmelo.
I have nothing at all.
Go ahead, Mr. Gardner.
Same, nothing to report.
Nothing to report.
No, sir.
Ordinance Committee has not yet met this month, so we are meeting next week.
Finance Committee is scheduled to meet on Monday.
The Economic Development Committee met a few weeks ago. We had the opportunity to discuss the Brownfield grant that the town manager just talked about. And we also got a look at the zoning, the potential zoning map coming out of the Comprehensive Plan Committee. One of the things that we were excited about is seeing the extension of the commercial district going from the Route 25 corridor from the Livingston border up to the Standish corner.
Mr. Gardner?
Mrs. Deacon, you mean?
Or Mr. Deacon, sorry.
It's okay. I did attend the Greater Portland Council of Governments meeting along with the chair. And part of the activities of the Council of Governments is one of their focuses going ahead is to identify a number of trails within the council area to build, and I believe they noted potentially 5 to 7 trails. Of course, we have the Mountain Division Trail, and in addition to that, there is the Standish Wildlife Management Area that is perhaps one of the largest single natural preserves in southern Maine. Although there may be some activity for various snow machines and such, I think we could develop some additional trails in Standish to include the wildlife management area, link it to the Mountain Division Trail. I also suggested a Sebago Lake circumferential trail. Having trails is another way to build interest in our community, to have people come by and use our various establishments, restaurants, et cetera, when they perhaps go for a hike. And so it's something that we should work with the Greater Portland Council of Governments, and I would encourage the group that's looking at the 10-year plan for the town to also consider encompassing trails as a part of their activities and working with the Greater Portland Council of Governments on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any consent calendar items tonight? There says no, but make sure.
Nope.
And there's no unfinished business? So new business. Before we get going too much, I'd like to make a motion to add Order 6425 to the agenda. It's just a ratification agreement between the town of Standish and Teamsters Local Union number 340 for the Standish Fire and EMS Department Union.
Second?
All in favor of adding that order? That's unanimous. Thank you. So on to new business.
Yeah, sure. 56-25, authorize Maine Department of Transportation to install bridge name signs at Canal Bridge BR 2123 and East Leamington Bridge 2252. Whereas Callista Crossed has presented at previous council meetings
Okay, thank you.
that she has been working on a program regarding renaming bridges, and whereas the state is requesting approval from the Standish Town Council to authorize Maine Department of Transportation to install bridge name signs at Canal Bridge, BR 2123, located at Route 35 in Standish, and East Leamington Bridge, BR 2252, located at Route 25, Leamington/Standish, and now be it ordered that the Standish Town Council requests that the state of Maine endorses this request and approves Maine Department of Transportation to install the bridge name signs. Further ordered that the town council chair is authorized on behalf of the town to execute related documents needed to complete the request.
Great, thank you. And is there going to be somebody to talk to us about this?
So it's just, we had already agreed at one of our first meetings to do it. This is just to put up signs on one of the bridges and the other ones that we talked about with Leamington, so it's not changing any more names.
Not changing any names, just putting the sign up on the bridges.
So it's gonna say Canal Bridge, the sign is gonna say Canal Bridge?
I guess it's already called that, we're just agreeing
Right,
to have
okay,
a sign.
okay.
Yep,
I know there was confusion last time of just re-changing the name
yep, no,
completely. So we're not changing any names, it's gonna be
Sounds like
a
just gonna put
flag
the-
that says Canal Bridge
And
and
what
a
it says
flag
is-
that says East Leamington Bridge, no other names or.
Yep.
Okay, just wanna absolutely make sure of that before we agree to send this to the state. Because it doesn't really, it's kinda gray how it's written to me.
Is there any other questions or, from the council? Yeah, Mr. Deacon.
Is there any reason why we can't call it the Standish Bridge as opposed to East Leamington Bridge?
It's always been called the East Leamington Bridge. I think it's because it's connects Standish and Leamington, so. And it's also one of the things we'd have to talk to them also and have collaboration, so it's just, we'll keep it the East Leamington Bridge for posterity.
Been around this town for
Forever.
70 years, and everybody knows where the East Leamington Bridge is, and I'd hate to change that to some other name, because that's a swimming hole that everybody has gone to for hundreds of years, so I would assume we would want to leave it. Maybe we'll call it the Gulf of Standish, maybe.
Any other questions? Any public comments? Seeing none, let's have a roll call, please.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes,
Thomas,
Yes,
and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. Now we move along to 57-25, amendments to Standish Town Code, Chapter 181, Land Use, Town Avenue Street Standards. This is the introduction. The Town of Standish hereby ordains that Chapter 181, Land Use, Town Avenue Street Standards be and hereby is amended as follows. Additions are underlined, deletions are struck out. Chapter 181-7.1, Form-Based Code Village Districts, FBCVD. Form-Based Code Village Districts, Standish.
I'll make a motion that we waive the reading.
Second?
All in favor of waiving the reading?
I'm not going to support that, because I think this is fairly good information.
Okay, then let's read it.
And it's not
Sure.
very far, it's only, we're halfway through it. I think that the people in the audience need to know what we're doing here.
Yeah, sure. So it's Chapter 181-7.1, Form-Based Code Village Districts, Standish Corner District Standards, and it goes off of number 3, Town Avenue TA Standards, SCD Street Space Standards TA, and the location with distances, amenity zone 5 feet both sides, and then on SCD street parking 8 feet, allowed one side only, bike lane 5 feet both sides, and travel lanes would be 11 feet 2 lanes.
So this is, I talked to Zach, he's not here, so he said that we have previously taken away the on-street parking for one side of the road. This is going to be removing the on-street parking for the other side of the road. And this is not for existing roads, this is for when they want to make a new development to make that road standard, so there's no on-street parking on the new developments. Yes, Bill?
And I think we are giving the developers a little leadway, so if they're providing parking off-street, behind the building or side, that we could waiver the parking in front of the building because of trying to get in and out into a new development. So I think this works really well for developers, because they will have more input on the design of their parking and on-street parking.
Yes, Ms. Thomas?
I just wanted to highlight, I think the important thing is that it's, as piggybacking on Mr. Pomelo's comment, is it's the developer's choice. So it gives them some more flexibility in designing their new developments.
Any other council comments? If there's not, I'll open up to see if there's any public comments or questions. Seeing none, let's have a roll call.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
Yes,
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. And then moving along to 58-25, approve renewal of waste of hauler licenses. Order that the following waste hauler license application renewals upon approval of the Director of Public Works are approved by council to expire June 30, 2026. Allagash Waste Services LLC, Casella Waste, Troyano Waste Services, Inc., and Waste Management Portland.
I don't, John, you have anything to add, or it's just basically approving these folks to keep hauling the trash?
It's basically a business license to do business in town.
Exactly. Any questions from the council? Any public comments? Okay, let's have a roll call.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
yes,
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. And we have 59-25, acceptance of a street name, Revy's Way. Order that the following street name as submitted by the property owner is accepted by the town council as required by the provisions of chapter 252-23 of the Standish Town Code. Revy's Way, a private road that would be located on tax map 53 lot 20, which is split off of Thomas Road Extension, which is off of Pond Road.
Mr. Cross, is there any issues with the road?
No issue with the road. It's Sunby for one house.
Very good. Any questions from the council? Anybody want to talk about it from the public? Let's have a roll call.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
yes,
Yes.
Gardner, Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. And now we have 60-25, approve warrant for annual town meeting. Order that the warrant for the annual town meeting is approved by the town council. Said meeting will be held on June 14th, 2025, beginning at 9 a.m. at the Standish Municipal Center. Please note a copy of the warrant is attached. The annual town meeting will be held at the town council chambers.
This is just a strictly housekeeping to make sure we can have a meeting, but Ms. Thomas?
Why is it directed to Ann Barney?
It has to be, a resident has to be the one to post it. Would you like to clarify that, Mary?
We have two versions that you sign in the unlikely event that one person is unable to sign. If someone is out sick on a particular day, these will be signed tomorrow. We hope everybody is healthy and in the office. Typically, Ruth LeBrecq would.
Doesn't Ann not work here anymore?
The requirement to post a warrant is you need to be a resident of
Okay.
the town.
All right. Thank you.
I would implore everybody here and anybody listening audience to come to the town meeting and be a part of that exciting event. So, is there any questions from the council? Seeing none, any public comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
yes,
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas,
Yes.
and Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. 61-25, confirmation of town clerk's appointments of election warden. Order that the town clerk's appointment of Sandra Osterreiter to serve as election warden through June 30, 2026 is confirmed by the town council.
Anything to add, Mr. Gardner?
I don't really have anything to add. We met as a appointments committee, and we approved Ms. Osterreiter, and that was that.
Great. Any council comments? Anything from the public? Seeing none, let's have a roll call.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
yes,
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses. So 62-25, town council appointments to various boards and committees. Order that the following town council appointments are made through the date shown. And we have Appeals Board, Stephen Bradbury through June of '26. Appeals Board, Jeff Cutler, June of '28.
I'd like to waive the reading.
Second.
All in favor of waiving the reading? That's unanimous. Is there any count, yes, Mr. Deacon?
Yes, a couple things. The Historic Preservation Commission, I don't believe has had members for a significant period of time. And rather than continuing to list them and then take no steps to fill the commission, we should either make sure that people are recruited and appointed, or review the matter and abolish the Historic Preservation Commission. We have had instances in the last few years where there are historic buildings that have had various issues pertaining to them. I would suggest that it would be prudent to actually use the Historic Preservation Commission, but to continually have it there and not have people recruited and appointed to fill a position would not serve the interest of the public to just say, hey, we have this, but we're never going to use it. So we should either decide to have such a commission and avail ourselves of it, or take the steps to acknowledge that nobody thinks it's important and never fill it and just abolish it. So we've consistently never, at least to my knowledge, not been appointing people to that. Secondly, there is also the Cemetery Exploratory Committee, for which there's actually a need for more than one person. That there is a need for another council member, someone who represents cemeteries as well as members of the public. And to indicate that there is just one vacancy would not be correct. That there are actually other positions within that entity that need to be filled. And so I would urge an amendment of that. Thank you.
As part of the Appointments Committee, I just want to say that it was nice to see an influx of people willing to volunteer their time to come in and be interviewed for certain positions. But there's always need for more volunteers, and I think everybody's busy, but if anybody out there wants to volunteer your time to come fill some of these roles, gladly take your applications. And Mr. Parmalee, you had a quick...
Yeah, I agree that it did feel good to see more than one or two people apply for like the planning board, and it was good to see people trying to get involved. But I do agree with Councilor Deacon that the Historic Preservation Commission might have run their course in Standish, and we might need to address that sooner than later.
Any other questions or comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, let's have a roll call, please.
Deacon,
No?
and then Gaba,
Yes?
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes?
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
That's 5 yeses, 1 no. Then we have 63-25, confirmation of town manager's appointments and fire chief's nominations to various town positions.
I'd
Order
like to
that,
make a motion to amend this order to add Jacqueline Dyer as the code enforcement officer with an alternate with an expiration date of June 30th, 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor of the amendment? It's unanimous. And is there any questions? from-
Yes, actually, can I change that? Should that be June 2026 with the expiration date?
Yes.
Yes, so the amendment should include that as June 2026. Thank you for catching that, Councilor Thomas.
Everybody still okay with the amendment? Or make sure, okay.
I'm going to abstain from voting. Obviously, my son is the fire chief, and my daughter is, Ruth's on here somewhere, I saw her name.
General assistant,
General
administrator.
assistant, so I'm going to abstain from voting on this.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Deacon?
I have a question about the open-ended comment about the time periods for several of these. Is that prudent to say there's no end date for, I mean, it may be that people are reappointed from time to time, but shouldn't there be a term of office that has a certain time?
No.
The
So-
town clerk should not have a open-ended appointment date, I think.
Our charter doesn't require both of them, and when the first fire chief was hired, it was a yearly, and then I think it got to 3 years, and then now it's just an open-ended position, just like any other staff member. If we have issues, we have a policy to go through to create change, but
Several years ago, the charter required an annual appointment of many department heads. That changed. There are some department heads, the code enforcement officer by statute still requires an annual appointment. The others do not. We had Sally Daggett in 2019, I believe she did a thorough review of appointments and gave us a syllabus to use for appointments. So the town clerk, I last was appointed in the 1990s, so I've been
Well,
with that.
there are many of us that would like it to stay
Last century.
open-ended for you. There are many of us that would like you to continue as it open-ended, but
Open-ended.
I understand you have other plans, but
Yeah, so open-ended is appropriate.
Any other council comments?
I have one question. I don't know, why are we seeing this every year anyways? I mean, we don't see the Public Works, Assessor and Rec Department, Planning Department. Why do we have to see these? Why wouldn't that just be a manager's appointment? I mean, and I'm not sure why it has to come to us for us to approve.
is it a state statute for the, for code enforcement?
So the department head appointments in many cases are by the town manager. Those appointments need to be confirmed by the town council. Angela is a new town clerk, so that appointment needs to be approved by you, the council. And then Mr. Karen, for a number of years, had been appointed annually, and in fact, that doesn't need to be done in his position. So we're going back to what the charter recommends. The town code enforcement officer, according to the syllabus that we received from our law firm, needs to be appointed annually per the statutes. And we, Angela and I, went all over each of these before compiling this.
So we're just complying with state statute, it's not a
So
charter
you're not going to
statute?
see Angela's or Robbie Karen's name again on this order
Okay,
in the future, unless there's a change in personnel. The charter says that the assessor, the finance director, and the welfare director is appointing annually. So those were done on on the council appointment order. So there's some department heads that are appointed annually, and that's still intact in our charter.
so we'd have to do a charter change to, I mean, I don't think we should be micromanaging the town manager for appointments for the plumbing inspector or the health officer, electric. I think that is something that the town council really, we're not up to speed on what they do, and then to sit here and have to decide if we're gonna vote them in or vote them out, I don't know if I like that. I'm sure that it was put in the charter 30, 40 years ago maybe, and obviously we know times have changed. That's when we probably had a part-time manager and no department heads. So I'm just curious if we might want to look at a charter change down the road for this, because it really looks like we're trying to do the town manager's job. That's my opinion.
Mr. Deacon?
some people are appointed by the town manager. If we were to have a town manager change, does that mean that those appointments serve at the pleasure of the town manager, and when the town manager changes, the appointment ends and they must be reappointed? Or do they continue whether or not the new town manager wants them in place?
They would continue if I left.
So they don't serve at the pleasure of the town manager, although they're appointed, and the appointment is indefinite, and we'd have to go through some procedure if we felt for some reason that we wanted to appoint somebody else. Or
Correct. I'm going to follow up, but I'm pretty sure that the state requires an annual code enforcement as well, but I'll get back to you about all of that.
Okay, thank you.
Any further council discussion? Anything from the public? Okay, seeing none, let's have a roll call on this, please.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
I have Pomelo as abstained, and then Thomas.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
All right, that's 5 yeses. Moving along to 64-25, ratification of agreement between the Town of Standish and Teamsters Local Union Number 340 for the Standish Fire EMAS Department Union. Whereas the Teamsters Local Union Number 340 filed a
Sarah,
petition.
go ahead. It's your turn. Waive the reading. It's your last time you can do this.
Make a motion to waive the reading.
I'll second it.
All in favor of waiving the reading? That's unanimous. This is just to, again, ratify the union with the Fire EMS Department, with the Teamsters Local 340. Is there any council discussion? Mr. Deacon?
Yes, as a former union organizer and union official, I understand the need for our town employees to have the benefits of the expertise of experienced union groups such as the Teamsters to help them get the most of their service and benefits and working conditions as town employees. And I want to share that I see this as although as a town council member, I represent the town in various ways. I don't see it as an us versus them. I see the town employees and those that belong to collective bargaining groups such as the Teamsters Union Local Number 340 to be working in collaboration with us and others in the town. Just because they have a group that is organized to represent them doesn't mean that we can't find ways to speak and communicate and be not just cordial, but actually working together in a number of ways. So I recognize and generally feel that it's in the best interest, not only of the workers, but our community, where the workers have an opportunity to join together, to represent, to enjoy better the fruits of our liberty and enjoy opportunities for being treated equally and fairly as town employees and members of the community. So I strongly praise the workers for working together to organize and establish the union and to find a group such as the Teamsters, who are well regarded as being very effective in representing their members, and look forward as a town council member to work with the union in a very positive way and encourage the union and its membership to always feel free to come to myself, the town manager, and others about their concerns to help us work together for the mutual benefit of the town. So I'm very encouraged by this event because I do think that we all can benefit from this. Thank you.
Any other council comments? Any public comments? Seeing none, let's have a...
Almost. Next one.
roll call, please.
Deacon,
Yes.
Gaba,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Pomelo,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
And Watson.
Yes.
6 yeses.
This is time for public items or public comments.
Mr. Furley, no.
I've got a couple of things I'd like to talk about, but one of them is our town meeting coming up. We'll have 25 or 30 people at the town meeting. They'll have the say of everybody in the town. If people get off their lazy butts and get in here, they'll take everything and throw it all into one basket. In 20 minutes, the town meeting will be over, and they'll vote for everything. There, that's enough of that. Now, this is to do with the Portland Water District. Portland Water District has just tried to steal our land. They tried to steal part of Maple Street. And if they had their way, they'd do it. And now we got to deal with the railroad track and everything. The water district, they're a bunch of thieves. If we let them, they'd steal the whole town. They tried to take Maple Street, and I don't know exactly what happened, but they were gonna dig that all up. They were gonna plant trees there. And so us people that drive down there all the time, and that's our wharf. And that's been there for over 100 years. And that railroad track, that was there long before the water district. And the water district tries to say the land is theirs. It is not theirs. If DOT paid like $1 million a mile, and what are they supposed to do? Cut 1 mile of that off and say that they gave it to the Portland Water District? No way. The town has got to fight them about everything, about Maple Street. And that's all I can say right now. I get too upset when I talk about it. But they're stealing stuff from us. And their taxes, they pay diddly shit for what other people in town pay. This town needs business, or we'll end up like Cape Elizabeth. Their taxes gonna jump $750 to get that new school. And if we don't watch it here in the town of Standish, we'll be doing the same thing. And we ought to get people out to the town meeting. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks,
Farley.
Mr. Furley.
You.
Any other public comments or public items?
Deacon.
L'Oreal from Wildridge Road. So could you clarify how the Portland Water District is stealing our land?
They're not stealing our land. The town is having meetings with them. They're wanting to take up some tar and put something so that the water's not rushing down into the lake. And so it's an ongoing conversation, but
They want to take the half of the road from the
Oh,
railroad tracks.
I'm aware.
That's ours.
It's an ongoing conversation, and we would make sure that the fishing pier stays there.
I just hadn't heard of this.
Yeah, nothing's set. There was some other public first. Ms. Cross? Go ahead. Come up, you can come up.
I just wanted to go back, bring you up to date on the bridges, on the signs. I think in the beginning it was kind of misunderstanding with Tasha and I believe you've spoken to Leamington Select people, David.
I did.
Salvier, I can never pronounce his last name. But on those bridges, I just thought where I was in the process of naming bridges and I've got a couple other bridges that I'm doing the same thing with. That's not changing the name of the bridge, but I've just thought that why not put a sign up the Canal Bridge if you people wanted to, and it's not shared by any other town, so you wouldn't have to go through another town. So that was one of the things that that I was here tonight for. And the other one, the East Leamington Bridge, we've been going back and forth with that for at least 2 or 3 weeks. And it is shared by Standish. And again, I have been talking and having meetings with the select people in Leamington, and they approved of doing the East Leamington Bridge and keeping it that way if Standish approved of it, because this is a shared bridge this time with Standish. And Leamington select people, they've already approved it and sent their approval letter in to Senator Jim Libby. And so now it's kind of just up to Standish if you want to do the same thing, and,
So that's what we just voted on tonight. So we are putting signs up and both of them have passed.
okay, I'm sorry then,
That's okay.
I guess I didn't understand that. but-
That's what it was.
All right, thank
So
you.
all done.
Sorry.
That's okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
I got one.
Yes, Mr. Deacon?
At some point, not necessarily to belabor it here, but it might be good to have a council workshop with respect to the water district and the trail and related matters. There are some towns in the water district that get paid funds from the water district for use of their land. I believe Gorham may get some funds for their part of the Gorham town that's occupied by the water district. It wouldn't be unusual for the water district to pay us in lieu of taxes, especially since there is the New London Supreme Court decision that might allow us to reuse or repurpose lands from the water district for things that the town might think important. And I do think that there would be a need at some point to, the lake is essentially 2/3 of the lake is under the Standish area of the town boundaries, and the lake is an important part of our town, and the water district is sort of cut us off at the knees by the way they control such a large portion of our town that connects to the lake. So I would suggest from time to time, it would be good to have a council workshop to address the water district and our relationship to them and make sure we're getting full benefit from that.
We'll go to Sarah, and then I know Phil.
That's fine.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I don't disagree that the council should probably take a look at, learn more about the issue in the future. I know that we do have, appointments from the council to the Portland Water District Committee, and in the past, I think, to come to the table on a lot of those discussions, the Standish would need to be a voting member of the Portland Water District. What that entails, and, when I had looked at it on a year that I was appointed on that Portland Water District, is what you do to be a member, a voting member, is that you have to, essentially Standish has to accept to back the debt, a portion of the debt of the Portland Water District. And further, that would only gain us a half a vote. We would have to share that with the town of Gorham. So we wouldn't even be able to be a fully voting member of that. That being said, I think that, our founders in Standish really set us up for failure by giving all of our waterfront, essentially, to the Portland Water District. We know that Portland needs water, of course, but, there's some complicating factors, which probably, as Mr. Deacon says, may be good to be reviewed in a workshop or something like that.
Mr. Parmelin.
Well,
Hold on, Mr. Hold on.
go ahead, he can,
Okay, come on up. Come on up.
go ahead.
I would like to apologize to the board. I get too upset, but I did talk to one of the guys at the water district, and he told me that was their property. And I kind of know it isn't. But anyway, I would like to apologize to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Apology accepted, and thank you for your passion and coming out to the meetings and being a participant.
Yeah.
Mr. Parmelin.
I've said it numerous times about the water district in the last 20 years being on the council, that it's like dancing with a chainsaw with them, and that's the truth. So anyways, one other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to thank Councilor Gabor personally for everything she's done on this council. She's never come to a meeting or a committee meeting or a council meeting that she wasn't prepared. She's brought value to every meeting. Her economic development commitment that she's had has made Standish a far better place to live the last 5 to 6 years with things that she's brought through that committee. So it's been a pleasure to have her on the council, and I'm kind of sad to see you go, because you brought good things to this council and to the town of Standish.
Thank you.
I will 100% agree with that, and I know I've learned a lot from you particularly, especially in the Finance Committee, and going through all that stuff and working with you in the last 3 years on the Finance Committee has been great, so I thank you very much.
You as well. Thank you.
Any other public comments or any other public items this evening? Okay, let's go on to any announcements. Any announcements?
No, there are no announcements.
Oh, wait a minute, we have a big announcement coming next Tuesday. What is that? What's happening Tuesday that we haven't talked about?
Everybody come out and vote.
Come out and vote on Tuesday, June 10th. We've got, polls will be open from what, 6 to 8?
6 to 8 p.m.
And we're voting on the school budget, the town budget, some,
Town municipal officers, planning board,
there we
budget
go.
committee members. There are 5 referendum questions for the town.
yeah.
You'll be voting in the MSAD 6 Board of Directors, and 2 questions on their referendum to approve the referendum, the budget or vote on the budget validation referendum, and then there's a question to discontinue the referendum process.
It looks like it's going to be a very, very low turnout. I heard that the absentees are coming in very low. So there's no excuse to come out because there's not going to be any lines at all. You're going to be able to come in, vote, and be back in your car in probably 5 to 10 minutes at the most, unless you meet up with me and we have to talk for 2 hours about something. So I'd really like to see a lot of people turn out because it's very important that it does. Thank you.
And Mr. Deacon.
I encourage everyone to vote. Every vote counts. And remind everyone that in the great state of Maine, if you're not registered to vote, you can register on the day of the election. If you're turning 18 on that day, you can also come and vote. And that in the great state of Maine, convicted felons have always had the right to vote. I know that I've been out canvassing from time to time and met people who have had a past that they've overcome and forever think that they can't take part in public affairs, and it's not true. In Maine, just because you're convicted of a crime doesn't mean that you forever surrender your relationship with the community, and I urge everyone to take part and vote and come out to vote because it's very important. Thank you.
There's no executive session this evening, so at this point, can we make a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment?
You're here.
That's unanimous. We're adjourned. Thank you.